Triple H furious after attack on Roman Reigns by Bronson Reed and Bron Breakker. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today we're diving into one of the most shocking and emotionally charged moments in recent WWE history, an incident that has left the entire wrestling world buzzing. Roman Reigns, the tribal chief, the head of the table, the cornerstone of WWE for the past several years, was brutally attacked in cold blood. The attackers, none other than the colossal Bronson Reed and the dangerous powerhouse Bron Breakker. The ambush left Reigns battered, humiliated, and injured before millions watching around the world. But while the attack itself was shocking, the fallout may be even bigger. Because once word reached WWE headquarters, Triple H himself, the chief content officer and the man responsible for keeping WWE in order, was absolutely furious. Triple H's reaction, his backstage tirade, his conversations with officials, and the punishment he hinted at for Reed and Breakker have now become the hottest topic in the wrestling community. This wasn't just a storyline attack. This was a direct strike against the aura of dominance Roman has built, and Triple H is not taking it lightly. In this video, we're going to break it all down. What exactly went down during the shocking attack? Why Bronson Reed and Bron Breakker targeted Roman in the first place? Triple H's fiery reaction, the possible consequences for Reed and Breakker, and how this all changes the trajectory of Roman Reigns and the Bloodline saga moving forward. So strap in, because this is going to be one of the most dramatic stories you'll hear today. The night began like so many others, with Roman Reigns making his trademark entrance. The aura, the presence, the slow march down the ramp, the crowd knew they were in the presence of WWE's top star. Roman had come out to address the WWE Universe after weeks of speculation about the Bloodline's future and his next move. But as always in WWE, calm never lasts long. Just as Roman raised the microphone to speak, the crowd's reaction shifted. From the corner of the arena, Bronson Reed stormed the barricade. At the same time, Bron Breakker slid into the ring from the opposite side. Roman had no time to react before the ambush began. Reed, a 330-pound wrecking ball, hit first with a devastating running body block that sent Roman crashing to the mat. The tribal chief clutched his ribs as Breakker pounced, raining down punches with his freakish speed and intensity. The crowd was stunned. Roman Reigns, the man who had crushed opponents for years, was suddenly on the defensive. Reed dragged Roman to the corner and crushed him with a running splash. Breakker, not satisfied, lined up a brutal spear that folded Roman in half. The arena fell into shock as the commentary team screamed about the brutality of the attack. But they weren't done. Bronson Reed scaled the ropes, and with the audience in disbelief, he delivered the tsunami splash, crashing down on Roman's already injured ribs. The tribal chief writhed in pain. Officials rushed the ring. Security poured in, but Breakker fought them off, knocking guards aside with stiff clotheslines and tackles. Reed shoved referees to the mat as if they were nothing. The crowd's boos were deafening, but Reed and Breakker reveled in it. Standing over the fallen tribal chief, they raised their arms, mocking the Bloodline symbol. The visual was chilling. Roman Reigns, the head of the table, the man who ruled WWE with an iron fist, left broken in the ring as two young monsters stood over him. The big question on everyone's mind after the attack was simple: why? Why would Bronson Reed and Bron Breakker go after Roman Reigns? On the surface, the answer seems obvious. Roman has been the guy in WWE. He's dominated the company, headlined WrestleManias, and carried championship gold for years. For young stars like Breakker and Reed, targeting Roman is the ultimate way to send a message. But digging deeper, the motives become even more interesting. For Bronson Reed, the path to the top has been filled with obstacles. He's often overlooked, rarely given the spotlight he feels he deserves. By attacking Roman, Reed proved he wasn't just a background player, he was capable of taking out the biggest name in the industry. This was his way of demanding respect. For Bron Breakker, the motives are more personal. The son of Rick Steiner, nephew of Scott Steiner, Breakker has wrestling greatness in his blood. But for months, he's been overshadowed by the Bloodline saga. Breakker wants the spotlight, and what better way to steal it than by brutalizing Roman Reigns live on television? Together, Reed and Breakker represent something terrifying. Young, hungry, and ruthless superstars with no regard for tradition or respect. They don't care about Roman's legacy, his dominance, or the aura he's built. They only care about breaking him down and taking his place. And that makes them the most dangerous threat Roman has faced yet. Backstage, the fallout was immediate. Cameras caught Triple H storming into the gorilla position after the attack. His expression said it all: fury, disbelief, and a sense of betrayal. Triple H slammed his headset onto the desk and began barking orders at producers and referees. "Get them out of my building. Now," he shouted, his voice cutting through the chaos. Reports from insiders described the scene as one of the most intense moments backstage in years. Triple H was livid, pacing back and forth, slamming his fists on the table. His rage wasn't just about the attack, it was about the disrespect. Disrespect to Roman, disrespect to the company, and disrespect to everything WWE represents. In a heated conversation caught on camera, Triple H addressed the situation directly. "Greater than, what you saw out there tonight was an absolute disgrace. Roman Reigns has carried this company on his back for years. He is a cornerstone of WWE, and what Reed and Breaker did was not making a statement, it was crossing the line. I don't tolerate that, not on my show, not on my watch." He promised punishment, severe punishment. Triple H went further, saying, "If those two think they can make a name for themselves by attacking one of the greatest of all time, then they've got another thing coming. I'll make sure there are consequences so heavy they'll regret ever stepping foot in that ring tonight." Social media exploded with clips of his backstage fury. Fans debated whether Triple H would suspend Reed and Breaker, fine them, or even fire them outright. Some speculated he might book them into matches designed to humble them, forcing them to face legends who would teach them respect the hard way. But one thing was clear: Triple H wasn't going to let this slide. His reaction showed not only his loyalty to Roman Reigns but also his determination to protect the integrity of WWE itself. So where does WWE go from here? Roman Reigns is injured, his ribs battered, his aura shaken. The question now becomes whether he will be cleared to compete in the coming weeks, or if this attack forces him onto the sidelines. Bronson Reed and Bron Breakker, meanwhile, are facing the wrath of Triple H. Whether they're fined, suspended, or forced into grueling punishment matches, the consequences are coming. But perhaps the bigger question is whether they care. Because based on their smirks during the attack, Reed and Breakker wanted this chaos. And then there's the bloodline. Will Solo Sikoa, Jimmy Uso, or even new family members step up to avenge Roman? Could we see the bloodline rally around Roman's injury to wage war on Reed and Breakker? Or, in a shocking twist, could Jacob Fatu finally arrive in WWE to defend the family's honor? One thing's for certain: the bloodline saga just took a dramatic new turn, and Reed and Breakker have painted targets on their backs. The attack on Roman Reigns by Bronson Reed and Bron Breakker wasn't just another WWE moment. It was a statement, a declaration of war, and it set off a chain reaction that has the entire company on edge. But the story didn't end in the ring. Backstage, Triple H's fury showed the world just how serious this situation is.